So, Sumit, how are you doing?
Well, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good. The whole, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy outside, but crazy Corona and what happens in the US and stuff. But other than that, I'm feeling quite good. How
So,
about you?
yeah, yeah, I think we are still here, so it's good. Kind of
Basically the same.
kind of looking forward for offline meetups because this is great. I mean, I learned lots of new stuff like during this like Corona like streaming stuff and whatever. I have
Yeah.
I have the whole setup here ready for like
Today
so
he told me he wants to buy a green screen. It
yeah,
went
yeah, yeah.
that far. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the back of me it's looking kind of good. So
I also think so. I like
yeah,
it.
yeah. So yeah, and you traveling right? You are traveling to like Germany or somewhere else?
So I have vacation since today, but yeah, I can't go much on vacation. But I'm visiting my, let's say, I moved from Stuttgart to Hamburg, so I'm going to Stuttgart over this week, and I just arrived like 2 or 3 hours ago. So I
Oh,
went to a friend who has a proper microphone, and yeah, got
and
everything set up
pizza.
here.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and pizza. Yeah,
Important. Yeah. So basically, yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Basic.
it's like the meetup feeling, you know. I'm somewhere
Yeah.
else and I have pizza, so just
yeah.
like on a physical meetup.
I have
Yeah.
beer, so you have pizza, so we are complete.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's yeah.
By the way, today I also got awesome new stuff for the next offline meetup. I'll try to show it in the camera. So these are actually little plastic, key holder thingies or whatever you want to use
Nice.
it for. Yeah, one of those offers on Sticker Mule, but they're pretty cool, and we have 50 of them. So next time I'll just bring them. You can just.
Nice.
Yeah, or we can sell them on eShop for $20 for each.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So how is it going at Share now? Right now, so do you?
Chennai, yeah, of course, Chennai was hit by the Corona situation quite hard. So, as I think all mobility companies, public transport, everything was down due to the lockdown. So we also, just as any other mobility provider, had yeah, a tough time in the recent months. But things are like increasing a lot. I can not only see this if I look outside, like life is starting up again. I also see this in the numbers, and our rentals, everything goes up. So we are slowly going back to a normal level. And the good part is that the product teams inside Channel, they did not stop. So they released new products, new offerings during that time. So for us, it feels like we will come out of this whole situation, with some momentum and even a bit stronger after all. So let's hope for the best, but I'm quite optimistic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice. So you switched to home office for the whole Share now, or did?
Yeah. Just like any other company,
Mm,
I think that is able to do that. We send our stuff home. We were equipped already with that. Everyone has MacBooks. We have online tools, Zoom, and everything was already distributed, including Google Hangouts also. So we had all the tools available already. It was just a matter of like taking your laptop home. And for some employees, they had some special requirements, like specific screens or something like this.
mm,
And we made that happen. So everyone is working from home still. So currently, for example, in the Hamburg office, we let 30% maximum of the staff come at the same time to the office.
mm.
But so the number of people that come to the office at the same time is very low. So like 3 people or something are at the office at one day. A lot of employees still want to wait until there is an official statement from the state, from the government that we can continue to normal kind of.
Yeah, yeah, that's really nice because like we at the from A to B we went like at least like for me like we went to 20% of work, so I working like
Mm.
8 hours a week, so
Hmm.
which is like bad for me like I mean bad we use it more for like cleaning stuff, like housekeeping and this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's really good, but on the other side, I kind of like missing the work because like for 8 hours a week it's nothing. Like it's
I mean, we have this as well for like this Kurzarbeit. We had this as well for a few departments, simply because, especially on the operations side, right? We have to like Madrid, for example, was a complete lockdown, which means we didn't need any of our cars. So we also had Kurzarbeit in specific departments. But as we have big goals for this year and next year, we let the product teams run to continue, because it doesn't matter if you have one rental or 10,000 rentals per day, they still need to write code.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I mean, I used like lots of free time for like side projects. So yeah, and
that I did too. So even though I work like 40 hours a week, I wasn't able to go out much, and that's where my side projects really like hit off. So it's weird. I was kind of forced to do my side not forced, but I was forced to not do anything else. So I don't think I've written that much code in the last 5 years than during this Corona time. I like it.
Yeah, I saw that like in February it was like 1 year after the merge of like to Drive Now, right?
The official let's say public announcement, yes.
Yeah, and can you like retrospectively say was it good? Is it good, the merge? Did you help the team like to grow better, or you have a better product or something like that?
So in general, I think such a merge is always, I mean, this was my first merge, okay, and my only one until now. So I'm no expert in merging companies and products, but I think for me personally, there are a few learnings out of this. So first of all, company merging, like cultural mergers, this is very hard. You have two companies with completely different cultures and values and working styles. Merging that is very difficult. So yeah, I don't think you can underinvest there. This is what you have to invest a lot of time and energy and money in to get the people to be one team. So everyone that gathered in Berlin now, that basically came from Stuttgart and from Munich, they forged this new team, and it's pretty great. I think I can speak for everyone that we identify now as Share Now. So we don't talk about the Drive Now people and the Car2Go people. We are all the Share Now people, and this was very, very important. And the product merge is a different one, because we had a special situation as we used the Car2Go infrastructure basically, and just moved the customers and the cars into the Car2Go infrastructure, and that became the Share Now infrastructure. But I would have done something differently. So we spent many months integrating this, especially on the customer side. This is very hard due to, the SEPA, like Lastschriftmandat, how can you charge them money? Can you send them emails? These are different legal entities with data protection, everything. So this was really, really complicated. And then we had this whole migration process. So a Drive Now customer could go into the Share Now app and say, I'm an ex-Drive Now customer, I have an account, blah, blah, blah. Everything is moved over. So this migration, a user-triggered migration, is kind of a fancy solution in general. But if you look at the mergers, for example, from delivery companies, like there was this time when Lieferheld bought everything, Pizza.de, Foodora, and all these companies, right? They're all one now. And they just said, register at Lieferheld. Here is a like €30 discount, register your new account, that's it. And we shut the old thing down. This, of course, makes it very easy for product teams, right? You just spend some money on them, but you save it on product development time. And I think next time I would do it this way. If I would be in charge of this whole thing, then I would do it this way. I would just give everyone like €30 and say register at Car2Go or Share Now and be done with it. but nonetheless, we did it this way, and it was successful. It took us more time. Yeah, it took us longer, but in general, the Drive Now customers migrated, and we now have the Share Now product, and it's working quite fine. And we are again on a level now where we can, push out features, innovate, and continue to look at our customer instead of our own,
Mm-hmm. So you basically used the Car2Go platform like the whole as a base, and okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The background is that with Drive Now there has been Sixt involved, and Sixt made the IT infrastructure for Drive Now. So they just kept this, and then we used the Car2Go systems.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds good. And about the team culture, because of course in the beginning, there's always you have the Drive Now t-shirts guys and the Car2Go t-shirt guys, and was it really hard to merge them together the social in the team culture?
That was definitely hard.
T-shirt in front of me, which is half. That would be just awesome. Sorry for that.
No, it was, it was specifically hard because it was two remote locations, right? We had Munich and we had Stuttgart, and now we had to merge those two. And you had to convince the people to come to Berlin. You had to convince them to find a new, let's say, home in this new culture. And the thing is, we didn't get a new CEO or something. The Car2Go CEO stayed. He's still our CEO. And that meant that for Drive Now colleagues, this might have seemed like they have to adapt the culture of Car2Go, because our CEO already implemented a culture in the company. And of course, it's easier then to just stick with that, or let's say adapt it a little bit. But the Drive Now colleagues coming in, they feel like they might have to adapt a little bit more, or it's harder for them to adapt. And this is a big difficulty. And we tried our best, of course, to do that with everything, with merch. We removed the Car2Go brands and the Drive Now brands internally, renamed everything to Share Now as much as possible. We started to identify ourselves with it when we talked about the product. Even though we had the branding Car2Go and Drive Now, we talked about Share Now all the time. So this is very important. And, you have to align everything. The salaries are different, the benefits are different, the contracts are different, the working mode, the leadership culture, the team setup, everything is different. And it's a tough one, especially if you say you merge one into the other. Instead of both becoming a new one, you kind of merge one into the other depending on leadership levels and the people that still dominate the leadership and the team aspect of it. And in our product department, we had only a few people coming in from from Drive Now, because again, the product was mostly done, the IT stuff, by Sixt. So that's why we didn't have a lot of cultural change in the product department, but it's really difficult. And I could imagine that there are a lot of experts out there that help with that kind of stuff, because a lot of companies fail with it. If you think I don't know, a huge company, Daimler, Microsoft, whatever, they buy a small startup. No one, the big company will not change. The startup either changes to the big company or they stay separate as much as possible. But this is a cultural clash most of the time. And for us, it was also a bit of a clash, not that big, but still, because Car2Go came out of the Daimler world and Drive Now came out of the BMW world. So these are still big companies, and their culture had a lot of influence on these smaller companies. So it was difficult, but by now I have no doubt in my mind that we are one team. So no, I don't think about the separation anymore. No one does. So that's pretty good. And it's very important for our CEO also that we don't wear the merch anymore. So for example, I still sometimes wear Car2Go merch because it's comfortable and I have it at home. So we try to order sweaters and t-shirts and stuff from Share Now. So People don't do that anymore to identify as the new brand.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, so in your bio, it's like you are like daytime you are head of engineering at the Schernau, and in the night you becoming the indie developer on your side projects. How you are doing with your time? Where did you find the time to work on your projects and even like the
I love that question.
Yeah, that is. I get the question a lot actually, but there are multiple things to this. So during Corona time, I think it doesn't count because I basically put any other hobby away. Anything else, you have 24 hours, 8 hours you need for sleep, 8 hours I work at Schernau, and the other 8 hours I coded during Corona time, basically. So this was like, this was different. But I do these side projects not only since 2 months, but I actually do this a little bit longer. And there, I decided to trade in my, the time that in the evening is wasted for Netflix or video games or something like this, let's say after 9 p.m. This time is usually not productive because we are all exhausted from the day and everything, and we just like relax. And I said, okay, I started this 2 years ago. I will go to bed early, let's say at 10, and I get up at 6. And then I have like 3 hours in the morning that can be productive because I'm full of energy. And before I even go to work, I have 3 hours. And of those 3 hours, 2 of them, I work on these side projects. So even though that doesn't, like it is not much in general, if you look at the overall day, 2 hours per day, every day will get you far with your side project, very far. Much farther than if you just like go for a few hours on the weekend. So as I'm pretty serious about these projects, I'm dedicating a few hours per day to it.
Yeah, and do you still coding at the Schernau?
No, I'm completely in leadership right now. So I'm responsible for the office here in Hamburg and a few of the teams, of the development teams. And this is purely leadership and management role now. Unfortunately, I still love to code. That's why I think I enjoy the side project so much. But I don't like the only time I write code at Schernau is when like I quickly, do a dashboard or something like this, or a quick and dirty solution to automate some process. Then I do it, but not for the main product.
Yeah.
What, if I may jump in, what's happening in the office in Hamburg? I know in Berlin are a lot of coders.
Yes.
Of them, by the way.
Yes.
But,
so
what is happening in Hamburg?
So we have the two big offices. So Berlin is headquarters, and in Hamburg we have a big product office. You can mostly separate it in the clients. So in Hamburg, the client applications are written. So the iOS app, the Android app, the website, and everything like the customer backend and stuff like this. The registration, all of that is in Hamburg. And in Berlin, we have let's say the Schernau backend side of it. So the payment structure, the fleet operations, the tools that we use to distribute the cars, to calculate our whole business intelligence stuff, data collection, our polygon management tools, vehicle management, all this kind of stuff is in Berlin. And the rental process itself, so opening the cars and having one backend to be able to handle multiple different cars and car brands, this kind of stuff is in Berlin. So you can think of it from a product perspective on the front end and the back end. While this is not entirely true, of course, we have front end and back end developers everywhere. But one is customer facing, and one, the teams in Berlin, their customer are mostly our employees, mostly. Not for everyone, of course, but this is a separation, I think, that is valid, even though we do have some customer facing teams in Berlin as well.
So what was your like the main motivation or main goal to starting with the side projects? Like the not the like side projects for learning, but side projects like really for getting money.
Yeah. This might be a bit philosophical if I go into that. So
Yeah, let's
I
go.
hope that's okay.
There's a lot of time. No worries.
Yeah. So side projects, I started them like everyone else probably in the beginning a few years ago with the purpose of learning. You want to try new technology and stuff like this. The next one was for me, I wanted to get better at shipping stuff. I wanted to finish products. I want to ship them to the customer. That means I don't care about the technology because the customer doesn't care about the technology. I use whatever I know and can, or I'm fast in, and I ship the finished product and not do like these, you do 50% or 60% and then you don't finish it. You really like to the last thing that is necessary for a customer to use it. So this was the motivation after that. And at some point, I was thinking, okay, if you look at, so I was browsing through the indie hacker community and bootstrap businesses and stuff like this, and I saw that there are people that have projects that generate them a few €1,000 or dollars per month, sometimes even 10, 20,000, 100,000 per month for like SaaS applications and stuff like this. And if you think a little bit about how we all earn money and what money is, etc. So again, this gets a little bit philosophical, but in general, it's you trade time for money. You work 1 hour and you get money for that. And if you want to increase that money, you have to either spend more time or get better at what you do, so you can get a raise, a higher amount per hour. And this has a limit somewhere. So even if we are talking the highest salaries anywhere, that might be 3,000 per day, 4,000 per day, or whatever. You talk high lawyers, high doctors and stuff like this. There is a limit somewhere. And you can only go beyond that. And beyond that doesn't mean necessarily more money. It can also mean you have more time for other stuff. Then you have to own something. You have to own a business. You have to own a product. Then you don't trade your time anymore. And if you go further, then you look at the people who are doing that already. Musicians, authors, people that own businesses, they put their time in an asset that they own, and then they sell that asset. So if I write a book, I put my time in once, let's say 6 months of work into the ebook, and then I can sell it indefinitely as long as it's, relevant and stuff like this. So I can scale it without putting much more work in it. And with Tresor, currently, it's exactly the same. So I work on it the same hours every day, but from month to month, I get more money per hour, that I put in. And this fascinated me a lot. And this is what I wanted to do. This is like, I wanted to shift away from trading time versus money to putting money into an asset that I own and sell that. And ideally, I have multiple of those and basically create a new passive income streams for me. So I'm not 100% reliable on my day job. And this would be, of course, the ideal scenario that I could that I can choose. It doesn't mean I want to stop work or something, but I can choose what to work on, when to work, where to work. It's just about like getting more freedom for the lifestyle that I want. So this is what I'm trying basically with these two side projects, Geoman and Tresor. And I'm at the beginning, right? One is now at €80 monthly recurring revenue. I'm basically earning money with it since 1 month, and it now steadily grows. And the other thing is a product that is targeted at large businesses. And there I only have a few customers, but the price is much higher. So it costs like $2,000 per year. And I do have a couple clients there, which of course is, one client of that product. I need like 50 clients from the other product, but it's nice to have this difference, like B2B and B2C, and, to see how they grow individually. But yeah, this is the goal basically, to get myself more ownership over something that I can sell and ultimately more freedom.
Yeah. And on those two projects, you working alone for this time?
So on Tresor, I work alone. I do have, I pay the designer for the logo and stuff like this, but in general, I work on it alone. And on Geoman, so Geoman is like, I tried this a year ago, and it was like I kind of failed. I didn't found any customers for it, so it was a failure. I built the product for like over a year, and nobody used it. So just the regular mistakes that I did much better for Tresor. And during that time, I had a programmer helping me once. I had a designer helping me out. Then there was a product owner that helped a little bit with the concept and stuff like this. And now, but this was all like coming and going, and everything is scraped away now, and starting again from the beginning. So I had some people helping me during the time, but the product that now actually returns money, that creates some revenue, that I worked alone on. But still, I would have loved to work on Geoman with other people. But yeah, this is also not as easy. So picking someone to start a business with, even if it's a side business, you will stick together for a long time. So you have to choose carefully. And this was more like people wanted to help, so they were helping. And then it got a little bit awkward sometimes, how do we go forward and stuff like this. So for now, I think until I figure out how to launch products, how to make them profitable, how to go, I would go alone or go with people that I know already very well. So there are a few people in my friend circle basically that have specific skill sets and that I know well, and they work awesomely. So I would start with them anytime. If we have an idea that requires all of us.
Because there might be some like that one of your product or project will grow faster than the other one, so you will have no time for the less profit one, and so it will basically slowly dies, right? Because you will be focused on the most like valuable one. So
so that's interesting, because currently the one that earns more money, I'm not focusing on that one. I'm focusing on Tresor. It's more fun. It has more users, much more momentum, but of course the price is lower, so it needs more people. But you're right. At some point, this requires a little bit of balancing, but it's only because I started two at once. If you grow one to a maturity level where most of the stuff is automated, and we are developers, we can automate most of it. I can hire some freelancers for this and that, then I can automate a lot of it away and put my attention on a second project and so on. So there are multiple people that are doing this already. In the indie hacker community, there are quite some like famous people that like start one project and start a second, etc., etc. And now they have like a portfolio of well-running small companies. So this is what I'm trying to do, but you're right. Currently, I have to balance a little bit, but most of my time goes into Tresor because I use it myself. It's awesome. I love it. I have now almost crossed 1,000 signups, 1,000 users, and revenue grows basically every day. So this is pretty promising.
I checked the Tresor. It looks really nice. I mean, it's in German, so like it's not for me.
You're right. I will internationalize it at some point, but I think that is the problem for most developers, including myself. You always want to do the perfect solution, etc. And here I was like very strict to myself and said, this is the MVP. You launch only in Germany, only in Euro, only with stock and ETFs, no other securities. And so very niche, right? So a lot of users can't use it right now, but I have the product out and I can validate it. This is the important part. And I will go for an English version and multi-currency and stuff like this. But I need to validate a little bit more before I do this investment, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, so basically it's not only the product like the Tresor.one, it's your like side project, but also like the portfolio inside it. It's basically your side income, right?
The portfolio itself, yeah, that's true. I invest also, of course, and this is where like everything connects a little bit. So I invest in a portfolio. I build a tracking tool to track that portfolio, and I share both of it on YouTube, which is a nice circle. And the investments by now also, yeah, I mean, this is completely passive income. I focus there on a dividend strategy, and it gets me currently between 20 and 50 euros per month, but this also grows. Last year it was like a few cents, and next year it will be a few €100. So this is also pretty nice.
At which point would you decide to quit your day job and work full-time on Tresor?
Good point. I don't know. So it's more about when Tresor gives me the freedom to decide, not only Tresor, let's say all my side projects and whatever, the portfolio and stuff, give me the freedom to decide what I want to do, then I can decide, then I can decide to go 50% share now, 50% on my side projects or whatever it is. Like, it's still, it's fun for me to work on Share Now as well. I enjoy working with the team there. By the way, I'm hiring in Hamburg, small hint. So it's still fun. The side projects give me the freedom to decide, and then I will decide. But of course, there is always a hurdle in monetary things. So I have a lifestyle, a family. I will become a father soon, and there is this financial stability that I will not jeopardize, right? So even though I could go with less money, for example, in the side project, there is some stability buffer that I want to be able to provide for my family. So this all has to be taken into account. But I will ensure you, if I do these kind of thinking and are going further with it, I will share it very transparently on YouTube.
Why did you prefer to use a third-party authentication system instead of creating your own JWT?
Because it's a solved problem. I wanted to create a product for the users, and they don't give a shit about my authentication system. It just has to work. And I can definitely tell you that these companies do it better than I can. And it simply saves me a lot of time. So the Auth0 plan, for example, is very generous. The free plan gives up to 2,000 active users, monthly active users. If you reach that, then you have a good product. And I'm not there yet, so it's quite fine. And I can add, social logins to it. I can add two-factor authentication to it. I can add more metadata to it. The login is already built, everything like this. And if there are changes in like policies and stuff like this, cookie, blah, 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 this is all handled by them. I don't have to worry about it. So it saves me really a ton of time. And it's a better solution also. So I would always go for a solution that is already out there if it solves my problem. And these kind of products solve them not only better, they are overkill. They have so many features, more than I could use. For my projects, I would never actually also at Share Now, I would never build this. We built this on our own, and we are switching. So even if you have a company with millions of customers, I would not build it on my own.
Yeah, I can only agree to that, definitely. Especially authentication. One of the hardest problems, just don't do it yourself. Do you use raw Bulma with own components, or Puify or whatever you call it?
Good question. Yes, I use the Bulma framework for most of my projects because I know all these classes by heart. I use it raw, so no Vue, Vueify or whatever it's called. I know there is a component framework, component library for Vue. I don't use that. I like to use libraries raw because the abstraction layers mostly limit me when I want to do very custom stuff. From a styling perspective. So I use Bulma raw, but I adapt it a little bit through the variables because I like Tailwind a little bit better. And I would use Tailwind. I actually bought Tailwind, also the course and stuff, but I don't use it yet because I don't like how many classes I have to write in there in my templates. but I adapt my Vue style a little bit towards Tailwind.
Yeah. Just integrate them into new classes in your component. What is it called? No, it's not called include.
Apply.
But yeah, you can basically. Huh?
You mean in Tailwind it's apply, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. So you can just join together. So this is how I used it. But anyways.
Me. Same for me. Just like this.
Yeah, this is what I thought about as well. I have to try it though, but this is again such a thing. I would like to move to Tailwind UI, but I would like it. There is no benefit to the customer, and I would have to invest 1 week to rewrite everything. So the return on investment is probably not there. So that's why I'm very hesitant on switching, because I constantly have to remind myself, do stuff for the user, not for me. And this would be definitely for me.
What was your why did you start your YouTube channel? What was the
YouTube channel?
Yeah.
So I've always had this urge of sharing, which might be a bit positive formulated. Maybe I'm also just, I don't know, an idiot that needs to talk a lot or something. I don't know. So I always had a blog and have written stuff. So 10 years ago, I started with a blog, and then I used some other platforms. And then I had this newsletter for 1 year where I wrote a newsletter every Sunday. And I felt like that writing is, for me, very inefficient. I honestly don't enjoy writing articles. I had to force myself to do it. And then I noticed meetups and conference talks felt very easy to me. So even though it might not be the best way to do it, if you spontaneously grab me and put me on a stage and I don't have any slides or anything, I would still feel comfortable giving a talk. And this is when I thought, okay, maybe writing is just not the medium for me, but talking is. So I thought about a podcast and YouTube and videos. And I thought, okay, I'm doing a lot of coding and building, so I want to share my screen a lot. And that's when I thought, let's try YouTube. Let's try it for a month or two, see how much effort it is for me. Is it painful for me to do and stuff? And I didn't even care about subscribers numbers or something like this, just about how comfortable am I with the medium to share what I'm doing. And currently it's awesome. I do everything. Maybe you saw it. Almost every video is one take. So I'm not editing it, because this is, again, a lot of time. So I'm just here, I put the camera on, I talk. And even though it's not very good right now, I learn and get better. And it feels much more natural to me to share through talking.
And do you have any kind of plan how to improve your YouTube channel?
Well, I know I have some things to fix. I have to, use a bit of a better camera. I will not buy a big camera or something like this, but I have to do a better camera, maybe in the background, some stuff. But I also have to improve how I prepare the videos and how I talk. So this is something I constantly try to look at and prepare a little bit more, but sometimes I do it spontaneously. So something happened, and I'm like, okay, I will share this. Put everything on and just start talking. And this is when maybe in the videos I sometimes stop and think about something, whatever. I can't really tell if that's good or not, or if people dislike this. So my YouTube channel is very small, so I can't really tell if it's a problem or not. I have to talk a little bit more with the people in the audience, but this is, I guess, something to improve how I talk. Maybe I can edit it at some point, get a better camera, stuff like this. I'm convinced that this will improve over time, like anything you do. If you do it regularly, it will slowly improve. If you look at any of the big YouTubers now, look at their first videos, they all suck. So I'm not worried about it.
I saw your videos, like the past one when you start talking English. So it feels good, and it feels natural for me. It's it's okay.
Awesome. Yeah, glad you are joining and following a little bit. It will be an interesting journey, definitely.
I have one question about investing in shares. Why did you decide it's just investing only on ETFs, not only like specific companies or shares of the specific companies?
I do invest in specific companies. The ETF portfolio is just the one I'm sharing on YouTube. I will at some point show my other portfolio where I invest in individual companies, but I would recommend most people that do not follow this closely, or let's say have money to spare, to invest in ETFs, because picking stocks is, you should do a lot of research and you should know what you invest in. So doing bets and trading is something I'm personally against.
Yeah.
I can't give any investment advice, by the way. I'm not a financial guy, but this is just how I do it. So I have a few companies that I believe in that will be successful in 10 years, and I invest in those. But other than that, I put a lot of money into ETFs because that's the entire market. And but when I share my bigger portfolio, you will see that I did a few very let's say lucky punches a few years ago on some companies like Tesla and stuff. And there are simply a few companies that I believe in. But these videos I'm really looking forward to, because they will be a lot of discussion, for example, Daimler versus Tesla and stuff like this. But I want to wait a little bit until I do them. But
I only have one share, and that's Tesla. So
yeah, it's not a bad call. I would recommend. No, I would not recommend it. I don't recommend anything, but I would do it the same way.
But I mean, for me, I most like the crypto. You see, I
crypto.
I put crypto everywhere, Norman.
Yeah. No, I'm not in crypto at all. But yeah, that's a separate topic.
So I'm like, my portfolio is like one Tesla share, and then like lots of crypto portfolios. Yeah, so I mean, it's also like diversifying like the portfolio also with the gold thing. Like you can like, not like the real gold, not the like the fake one with just invest gold or something like this.
Yeah, there are millions, of course, of strategies. Everyone has to find their own, and there are a few things I stay away because I simply don't know it. So I don't invest in gold because it doesn't produce anything. I'm more looking for companies that produce something, but that's just a strategy thing. There is no right or wrong here. I'm sure there are people that did a lot of money with gold investing.
Yeah. So you don't have any interest to like invest in crypto or this?
I tried it once, and with a little bit of money, but there it's the same. So crypto, again, I'm not an expert here, but for me, it's like if you and me say this piece of hardware is now worth $1 million, and you and me agree on that, so we can sell it for $1 million to whoever else believes it's that. But it's like art. Just people agree on that it's that much worth. And I also don't invest in art or something. But if you invest in companies and businesses, they actually deliver a product and do something with that. And with crypto, it's like a lot of bets. It's betting, and I don't consider it investing. I consider it betting on something. And again, I don't want to say it's wrong or something. It's just not for me, because I simply don't know that, and I can't think of a scenario where this will replace money or something without the government being involved. So
I mean,
I don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, for me, like mainly Bitcoin is like the kind of revolt to the current money. So and I'm pretty sure that it's like it won't like replace the current money soon. But for me, it's like, it's not like getting like trading. I don't like trading, even like just waiting. And for me, it doesn't matter if it will be like in 5 years or 10 years. It's like more for the future. So right now, I mean, you can buy one Bitcoin for $10,000 US dollars, but in the 10 years it might be $1 million, right? So and it might be like that it will in some parts it will replace the current like money somewhere. So it's more like, and same with the shares. I mean, of course, like I bought Tesla shares like last year sometimes, and right now they are like around $900 something. It depends. So I have some profit, definitely.
Yeah.
But
how much percent are you up?
70.
70, nice. So we should compare at some point. So the overall stock portfolio of me and your crypto plus gold bars and Tesla stock.
I don't have
combined.
gold. I don't have gold. I have only.
Okay. Because someone in the chat was asking where you store your gold bars. He has it. You know, he did headphones with it and stuff. So he has it everywhere.
Yeah.
Golden.
Yeah. I mean, with crypto, I'm like 30% plus, and with Tesla 70% plus right now. So
yeah.
So I'm definitely. I mean, but it's still like the revenue from from this one. It's like not so much money.
Yeah.
It will. I don't want to cash it right now because I mean, of course, I will get some like reasonable price. Reasonable money, but it's not like nothing. For me, it's more like for the future where I can like for my bitcoins I can buy actual Tesla.
Yeah.
Or something like
True.
that, or house, or whatever.
Yeah.
So
that would be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
All right, guys, it was very fun to talk to you. I will sign off now. To get some pizza.
Yeah, definitely.
So thanks a lot for having me. It was really fun.
Yeah, it was. Thank you very much.
Great to have you.
For your time.
Enjoy your pizza.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
See ya.
See you all. Thanks to everyone that joined us, and who asked a lot of questions. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
See you next time.
Bye.